So we at L'Arche Portland are inspired by the self-advocates taking action. We're inspired by their vision for people with disabilities to be included as important members of our communities who make choices about their own lives, who are educated about issues that affect their lives, and who advocate for their thoughts, their services, and one another. And L'Arche Portland has had the honor of inviting the self-advocates taking action to teach us about self-advocacy and the history of the disability rights movement in Portland. So last year, we had a couple of members. We had John Griffiths here, who joins us today, and Jen Knapp taught us about self-advocacy and how anyone can become a strong self-advocate. They join us at L'Arche at Tabor, one of our monthly community events. And then again, this year, another self-advocates member, Linda Gear, came actually here to Neocani House to teach assistants about the history of the disability rights movement in Oregon, which is a movement she's been has been a leader of since the 70s. So self-advocates taking action empowers people with and without disabilities to hone their self-advocacy skills and make their voices heard. So L'Arche Portland is thrilled to present self-advocates taking action with the Spirit of L'Arche Award in honor of their outstanding presence in and impact on our community and the lives of individuals with intellectual disabilities. So we have an award here, which we would like to present to you, John, on behalf of the self-advocates taking action. Beautiful. Everything. Beautiful.
Woo!
It is.
I'm Dina Wilder, and I'm the support person for self-advocates taking action. And I've been a support provider for 5 years, and because of John, I have learned so much on advocacy things. So he's definitely my mentor for advocacy and disability justice.
I'm John Griffiths.
The chair.
Yeah, the chair. I'm also on the OSAC board of directors. I've always been a person who's kind of right on the edge of things, and being a person who's on the edge of things means you have to fight to get any of your services like SSI or Section 8 or Aging and Disability or even brokerage services. So I've had to always fight for all these things. Nobody just stepped up and said, oh, you belong here or you belong there. Since I've been in a situation where I've lost services and gained services, it's always been kind of a fear to me to lose brokerage services. So I guess I found some kind of self-advocacy group early on through some kind of networking or something like that. OSAC is our larger state organization, but it is also the organization who reaches out to either individuals or group organizations who are self-advocates, who want to get up to Salem or who want to deal with their county politics or who want to deal with their city politics. Throughout the state, if somebody wants to know anything about intellectual disabilities, they generally go ask the staff members of OSAC. They have committees in which you all can join via phone and probably do a Zoom or whatever, just like what you're doing right now. And get on there and make sure your voices are heard by OSAC, because people are making decisions about your lives. And if you're not putting into OSAC, you're probably not putting in your 2 cents. Self-advocates taking action. I don't know. We've been kind of like participating in Go Project days. So we do our best to try and get the staff members from them to come and talk to us so that they know what we want and what we need. And then, of course, if OSAC says, hey, we're going to hold a rally, we're there.
And I think the BAM movement, build a movement that you created is in some way kind of more local because you've had Portland legislators come to the BAM legislative days, or the meeting we had for build a movement that had all the legislators there. They were really touched by hearing people's voices. So I think it made an impact. And as far as legislators go, the last one you had, I think you had 7 or 8 legislators come. So it was pretty impressive to me how many you were able to get.
Yeah.
How do you engage the disability community to make advocacy more accessible? Like, how do you welcome, invite, support, help people get their heads around, contribute their voices? What are some of your strategies for supporting disabilities to advocate for themselves, whether legislatively or otherwise?
I think one of the biggest things we were arguing about, or not arguing about, bringing up to the legislators is accessibility to Salem, because we had a lot of people in wheelchair who couldn't make it down there.
John, some of the ways that you and Build a Movement decide on a topic and then how you address it with the legislators. Because I think BAM does that really well. You guys, how you get everybody's voice together figured out.
Yeah, generally BAM gets together in October. And basically that's what I call a gripe session, or I actually have another term for it, but I won't go into that. But that's a session where people with disabilities can sit down and say, I'm having a problem with this and this and this and that. And then we kind of take it and we shrink it down, because you can't deal with all the problems, no matter how influential the group is. I mean, generally we have to knock it down to like 2 or 3 things. The 2 things that came up last November was housing. Going to always be a big, I think it will always be a big thing. And then we also services, and more centered around sexual supports.
But I think services, people are also concerned about staff, retaining staff.
Yeah, and retaining staff.
Yeah.
But in the past, we've also had healthcare, universal healthcare, excuse me. Most people admitted that was kind of big. And we weren't certain how to deal with it. And then the next portion of Build a Movement is generally in November. We try and get the legislators come in and listen to our complaints. It's local legislations and it's only statewide. So, but hopefully maybe next year we can get an actual federal representative or senator to come in and listen to us.
And thinking about, we are honoring, and we feel like self-advocates taking action embodies the spirit of large. And I wonder, what do you think the spirit of large means? What does that mean to you or to the self-advocates taking action group?
L'Arche definitely is one of those organizations that is community centered and centered on equality, really, of bringing together people who need support and people who provide support together in a place that really embodies this sense of dignity. And I think self-advocates are very much a group that is trying to promote dignity. And so L'Arche is a beautiful example of how that's done. I think it's really a beautiful thing that SATA is being honored for the work that they've done. Even though you talk, John, about OSAC being above, I see SATA sometimes as being the energy. It's like the mitochondria in the cell. SATA is the ones who get things going and are very vocal. So I just really respect SATA, and I'm glad I get to support SATA in the way that I do.
Could you tell us how one might get involved with SATA if they were hoping to?
Get on Zoom every second Friday of the month at 11 a.m. We have 2-hour meetings. Once we're able to meet once again in person, it will be at Community Vision.
Awesome. Well, thank you all. I hope to see you all soon.
Okay, thanks so much.
In person, so it's more like-
Yeah.